book is so big and I am so confused.
Alcohol. Sarah J. Maas has a kink.
Hello everyone, this is Gabby and today I'm bringing to you a House of Earth and Blood reading vlog. So firstly, let me tell you a little bit about this book. So this is the first book in an adult series by Sarah J. Maas called Crescent City. It's Sarah J. Maas's first venture into adult, but she's a very popular YA author, and takes place in a modern day-esque Earth, but the world is populated with paranormal creatures, and there's magic, so there's anything from fae to angels to vampires to sprites to humans. And we follow Bryce, who's a half fae, and her life's pretty great, but the highlight of her life is definitely her friend Danica, who's a werewolf and a powerful one at that. But one day Bryce's life gets turned upside down when her friends get murdered, but 2 years later they find out that the person who everyone thought responsible did not commit the crime, so she gets brought into the investigation, finding out what happened to her friend. And if you have read the book, please proceed. If you have not read the book, there's gonna be spoilers in this vlog, so probably better to turn away now, go read the book, and then come back and chat to me about it. Alright, I hope you enjoy the rest of the vlog, and bam! I am so excited. The Crescent City came out 3rd of March, which is the same day as Chain of Gold came out, and I decided to read that one first, so I'm gonna link the reading vlog for that up above. My journey with Crescent City has been a bit complicated since I have bought the tickets for the UK tour of Crescent City. I was supposed to go with Anne from Wibbly Wobbly Book Nerd, and we were supposed to get the special edition signed books. For the UK tour, we were supposed to get some pins or whatever. I don't really care about that, but still, we were supposed to do all of that. It was supposed to be actually this weekend. I was supposed to go there tomorrow. It was literally tomorrow. Today is the 12th of March. So we were supposed to go get those, and it was gonna be the greatest thing ever. I was gonna vlog it all. It was gonna be so much fun, and then coronavirus happened, and we're in a pandemic now, so that was not fun. The event got cancelled, which was unfortunate, but of course I completely understand why Sergeant Maas wouldn't want to travel and expose all these people to kind of a risk. I totally understand it, but it was a bit sad, and we're not getting the special editions books. We could buy them separately if we wanted to, because we got a refund, so we could buy these separately. But I didn't even like the special edition books. I just wanted her to sign it, but now they're not even signed, and it's like 30 quid. It's not worth it. So I got the book from Amazon for like 10 quid, which was a winner. Let's do the unboxing for it. Ooh, wow, this boy is so big. I have not been trusting Amazon lately because they keep delivering book decks that are like not in prime condition, I'm gonna say it, but look at this. This is just absolutely gorgeous and stunning, and I love it so much. Wow. Honestly, the synopsis for this really reminds me of Shadowhunters. This is like 800 pages long. Ooh, let's hope it's as easy to read as Chain of Gold. I'm just so happy. So I have started reading the Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, and I am 34 pages in. And I gotta say, the pages in this book are like wafer thin. Like, I know you can't tell, but like, it's wafer. This book is so big, and I am so confused. I am just so freaking confused. I don't know what's happening. I mean, we're 34 pages in, right? We met about 50 characters at this point. Okay, that's maybe an exaggeration. 20. We met 20 characters so far. I know names of 2. I started reading it and I got like 10 pages in. I was like, should I just restart reading it? I have no freaking clue what's happening. I cannot focus on what's happening. I don't know who Sabina is. It's just... oh, I'm so confused. And then, so I kept going and I just kept reading, and I'm still quite confused, but maybe not as much as the beginning. I kind of know what's happening. I still don't really know what's happening. I have a very vague idea. And this is kind of like modern day Earth, but it's not Earth. It really reminds me of either Zootopia or Onward, even though I didn't watch Onward, but kind of the vibe it's giving me. It's like technology, clothes, a speech, everything like that is kind of modern Earth, but the creatures aren't human. Like, there's humans, but there's so many other creatures, and it's not Earth. They said the name of the planet, but like, I can't remember that. the planet's something else than Earth, but it's kind of like Earth. It's like a whole thing. We have the main character Bryce, who's, I cannot stop thinking about Bryce from 13 Reasons Why whenever I hear her name, and I don't like it. I wish she was called something else. So her name is Bryce and she's half fae. I think she works in some kind of like spatial agency police kind of thing. And then she has her friend Danica? We have her friend Danica, who's a werewolf, and then they have werewolf forms. So they're like really big wolves, but then they also have human forms. Okay. Anyway, so in this book so far we follow the Bryce and Danica and all her other friends that are wolves. And actually this reminds me so much of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Because there's this criminal Brigus, his name's Brigus. I'm pretty sure there's a villain in Brooklyn Nine-Nine named Brigus. Isn't there? I'm gonna Google it and I'm gonna put it up here if there is, but this sounds just like Brooklyn Nine-Nine villain character and I love it. We have this Brigus character who is a villain and he's bad for some reason. We don't know why, and he's out of prison because of some technicality. I wasn't paying attention, I don't know why, but anyway, so he's out, and Danica is like a sworn enemy of his or something like that. I don't know, she's very passionate about it. She's on a task force that's supposed to like monitor him or whatever, so that's happening right now. I can't say I'm enjoying it and I can't say I'm not enjoying it. So far I'm just confusion personified. I just need like a chart. Wish me luck. Wow, it's not boring anymore. So I'm at page 78 and or 75, whatever. Yeah, so basically we have gotten to the murder that apparently was in the blurb. I just didn't realize. So then we got the death and the subsequent chase, and now we're in the police department. I don't think Brent's actually a police person. That was wrong. She works in a gallery. How like so horrific. This book is very adult. There's a lot of sex in it. I mean, there hasn't been actual sex, but there's been a lot of talk about it and gore and just like adult themes. I did get way more engaged now. That was a really good scene. I was kind of dreading seeing where it was going and it did go there, so that was wow. I still have no clue what Brent's like actual job is, and there's also so many freaking species of everything. So there's one I usually saved that I thought would be like a love interest potentially, but now then they introduce a brooding bad boy. Hunt, I think he's an angel as well, so now I'm thinking Sergeant Maas, brooding bad boys. But I feel like I'm enjoying it more, or like on a different level than her other books, which were more like so easy to read, but literally just like candy, like bad for you, you know. Like actively bad for you. All right, update time. So I just finished page 164 and 13th chapter. So what's happening right now is we are almost 2 years in the future, and Bryce is not coping very well, and turns out she is not a police officer. She works in the art gallery of old artifacts. Why did I think she was a police officer? And someone dies again, and they think it's the same person who killed Danica all the 2 years ago, so she's being enlisted to help two angels on the investigation. So first of all, I don't like Hunt. He is a misogynist and he is just such a prick. We were in the scene where they had to go interrogate Bryce. In the span of 2 chapters, he called like to himself, thought that she was dumb or stupid or spoiled or just a complete idiot like 20 times. He has absolutely zero reason to. It's not justified, because he read in her file that she likes to party and she was on drugs the night that her friend died, but like he's like, oh, she's a spoiled princess then, isn't she? Even though she's not even rich, so it makes no sense. He's like, even Bryce with her 2 cells could figure that out. I guess even the dumb Bryce knows to keep quiet. It's just like, dude, talked to her once before. It seems a bit deep, I'm not gonna lie. He has some kind of freaking vendetta, and like he rips into the poor girl for no reason. So mean. And it's not sexy mean, it's just mean. And if he keeps being like this, I'm not getting onto this ship. I don't know if it's because he's a sexist or if because he's just a douche. I think it's more of the douche thing, unless at some point he actually acknowledges being like, I really misjudged you, I make some really harsh judgments out of zero information, and I'm so sorry for calling you dumb 50 times in my head. for just doing like the littlest thing. And then I have problems with some of the writing stuff that I always have problems with when it comes to Sarah J Maas's writing. So her bloody god stain. God's damned. When I was reading Throne of Glass series, every other page, oh, this god's damned, blah 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 blah. It just sounds so unnatural. I know it's because they have multiple gods, but it's just fucking god's damned, fucking gods. Every 5 seconds, god's damned, pissing me off. It pissed me off in both Throne of Glass and Akator series when the Fae were always males. It's like not men, they're males. Because it sounded weird. I know this is like, because I'm used to men and female and women, whatever, so that sounds more natural to me. He's such a good male, such a bad male. The male crossed the street. It sounds weird, right? But fine. I was like, it's a Fae thing. They don't have men, they have males. But oh my, she's doing it again. She have to do in every single series. Does it have to be God's damned and male? Like, it's just driving me crazy. I don't know. It's just little things that really take me out of the, because I am enjoying this book. I think it's really good. It gives me, it literally makes me feel like I'm watching Bones, you know, the TV show. Like, there's a pair of detectives and then go pair up with a little civilian who's pretty brilliant but not in the system. It's really good. I like that part, but every time on the page I see God's damned or male in a weird context, just something really bothers me. Let me know. Does it bother you? Maybe it just bothers me. I don't know.
All I want to say is alcohol. That's it. Alcohol. Just a quick update. So I've been thinking more about this whole Hunt looks at the main character, Bryce. And I really hope that they redeem this and it's acknowledged and not just looked over, how both him and his partner just like talk about her like, oh, she's just a party girl. And like that's the one thing that's defining her, and it's like a crime because, you know, like a girl can't go and have fun because then she's just like a worthless piece of, you know, and now she's just dumb because only dumb people can want to party. Like, I really don't like this narrative. When I think about like her other series, the main guy in the first book isn't the like ODP. I wonder if they're gonna do this here, because I feel like I could be okay with this ship because I feel like they have chemistry, but I need them to acknowledge the stereotyping and the broad assumptions and all of that they're making about this girl, because it's frankly really insulting how they pigeonhole her into this one thing that she's not even. And another thing I wanted to say was Sarah J Maas has a kink, and we all know it's the dominant male kink, because every single book the guy characters are so possessive and it's like the defining trait of their species. But here we have a whole breadth of like 500 different species, all of them possessive and brooding and just like, gotta have you right now. If you're my female for the end of life, and that's it, and we're just gonna bit intense. Faye that are super possessive males, they can smell you and all that kind of weird stuff. You know, you just know she's into that. Like, I don't judge people's kinks, but every single book is like that. Can't there be like one normal character who's kind of like, I like you, I trust you, I don't need to pee on you to own you because I'm not a dog? Okay, no one's peed on anyone yet, but that's the vibe I'm getting. Sarah J Maas men characters take possessive boyfriend to a whole new plane of existence.
So we've had some redemption from Hand. There was another murder happening and Hand kind of forced Bryce to go with him, and she was really distressed by that, and that kind of showed him that he's a real alcohol. It made him rethink some things, and he had a little redemption moment. Although it wasn't as big as I really wanted it to be, he still said, I'm sorry, I thought you were a suspect, and more than that, I'm sorry I judged you, I thought you were just a party girl and I acted like an asshole. And then I really like Bryce's answer, which she was like, there's nothing wrong with being a party girl, I don't get why the world thinks there is. It's not as big as I wanted, this whole like I'm sorry I judged you kind of thing, but at least it's acknowledged. So I'm glad that happened. As long as he doesn't keep being like very judgmental and very snappy with it, I'm happy with that. And then, ladies and gentlemen, came my favorite part of the book, which was let me introduce you to Every Single Male Character by Sarah J. Maas, a memoir. Alpha what? Alpha hull. Possessive and aggressive. You know, you males who rip your shirt off at the slightest provocation, who know how to kill people in 20 different ways, who have females falling over themselves to be with you. When you finally bang one, you go full on mating frenzy with her, refusing to let another male look at her or talk to her, deciding what and when she needs to eat, what she should wear, when she sees her friends. Your favorite hobbies are brooding, fighting, roaring. You've perfected about 30 different types of snarls and growls. You've got a cabal of hot friends, and the moment one of you mates, the others fall like dominoes. And God help you when you all start having babies. This is when Bryce explains to Hunt what an alpha hole was, and I was just like, I'm living for this. I love this self-awareness from Sarah J. Maas. I feel like she heard people, and instead of being a little baby about it, being defensive, she put it in her book and kind of made fun of herself. I mean, she still uses the trope, and still that's what the characters are. But at least she like having fun with it, you know? I can't judge her for that. I like that she's having fun with it. And like I said, I'm enjoying the book really immensely. But there's the point of the book being quite predictable. When I say predictable, doesn't mean that I can tell every single little plot point, or I know who the murderer is, or who's behind this whole thing. That's not really what I mean. What I mean is like the tropes and the overarching story beats that are gonna happen, that I just know are gonna happen, and they're just so Sarah J. Maas. So I can already predict that Bryce is gonna be a starborn, and she's gonna be the one that's like the chosen one, whatever. She's gonna use her power somehow to power the horn, and this whole, oh, she doesn't have a power is probably a misdirect. She's gonna become the most powerful being in the planet. I mean, we can already see it, so it's a bit predictable, but I'm still enjoying it. I'm just saying that it's a Sarah J. Maas story, and it feels like a Sarah J. Maas story, so... So now we are about 500 pages in, and Hunt and Bryce were just attacked, and they fought off the demon and killed it, and then Mika came and he eviscerated the demon because he was like, no proof, we can't have any wind of it coming up. So he's dodgy, and we don't trust him no more, okay? We never really trusted him, but now we really don't trust him. Okay, so I just finished page 609 and I'm about to start 4th section, the ravine. What? Okay, so basically what happened? It was Danica's birthday. Bryce was really sad, so she got some croissants because that was Danica's favorite food. On the croissants it said something like trash or whatever, and it was one of the alpha wolves that was really mean to her, and then Hunt went and like beat the alpha wolf up to punish him. He had his wings cut off, but it's like they're gonna grow back. It's just like immense pain. So after that we were really sad and it was really haunting, and then Bryce took care of him, was a little nurse, he was very cute, and they had a little heart-to-heart. I mean, so many things happened, but anyway, trauma brought them together. They had a little, you know, adult entertainment session that was cut short by him bleeding on her couch. So after that, she was called a big deal with the drug was going down, so she went to the ravine, whatever, to the thing. She saw that plot twist. It was fucking Hunt doing a deal because he figured out that if he had sent the drug he could start up his rebellion again, but didn't realize how fucked up the drug was. And we saw some videos where it basically the drugs turns you so feral that you like devour everyone around you, like just rip them apart and then you rip yourself apart. So the leading theory, or like what they're saying happened, is that Danica was addicted to the drug. She took the drug and she was the one that killed all of the pack and then herself as well. And apparently Hunt knew this for like a week, but he didn't tell Bryce because he was like, I don't want to destroy your opinion of your friend. And then he got basically arrested, and now we don't know what's gonna happen. Like, he was the one that admitted that he was doing this, that he kept this from her and stuff like that. So I feel like it's not a misdirect. I legit, like, saw it and I was like, misdirect. Like, it must be a misdirect. First we see him buying the drugs, so I was like, fine, he's undercover. But apparently not. Apparently he was buying them for real. Like, this book, the twists and turns and the emotional turmoil it just took me through. Are we just gonna forgive him for his transgressions? Or is this another, like, oh, what's that asshole's name? Chow situation? Are we gonna get a new love interest like 3 books in? That's a Sarah J Maas thing, and this is full of Sarah J Maas things. I don't know, there's 200 pages left and I'm not ready.
Bryce goes from like 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. She was like, I don't care about him, kill him, whatever, I don't care. And then she was like, I've got a really smart plan. And then her plan was not that smart. She was like, take me instead. I told you he couldn't be trusted. Fucking Micah is evil and he's the one who killed Danica. Told you Danica didn't kill everyone. How convenient is it that he's monologuing his entire thing on a live stream? It's a good thing he's chatty, you know? Haba, I think that's how you say it, died. And she was like this fire spirit living in the library, and she was Bryce's friend, and Bryce bought her and set her free, and now she's saving her. When she finally got some respect and everyone was standing up for her and saluting her, she was always treated less than. It's just, they're all coming, oh my god, everyone coming together. This is too good. They're all coming. They're all coming. The hyenas, the dingoes, the foxes, they're all serving human babies. I told you she was like the star-born person. Apparently she knew this all along. I thought she didn't. There you go. I thought maybe she knew from the oracle, but that's it. I told you. I'm just always right. Sergeant Maas loves her princesses, doesn't she? And her queens, she really does. What is that? Hypaxia is my favorite character. She came out of nowhere. She's a boss bitch. Goddamn helicopter indeed. If I'm thinking correctly, Danica's ghost basically just came to be the anchor through the gate, and she's come from the garden. She's even there. Oh, so she can't even anchor herself. She's just dropping by herself. I'm destroyed. Of course she's fucking gonna get everyone's power. Everyone's drop of power for her massive power. This is just like, okay, I'm not gonna compare. I love how the drop is like so literal, and you literally drop. And then you have to like run for your life, and then you like ascend. I thought it's just really cool the way they did it. Even Sabine came around. I mean, I'm sorry, but when they're like, how? And they're like, the power of love. I just feel like I'm watching a Disney movie. 'Cause love is the most powerful magic of all. Is Hunt's father a demon? So I finished the book last night, and I'm gonna tell you, this was such an experience. I mean, you've seen it. So I thought I'd come back and give you some of my final thoughts on the overall book, and if I'm looking forward to the series and all of that. I enjoyed this experience so much. It was so engaging. The book was so addicting and quick and just kept you going and really engaged, and I really needed something like that. I feel like I have not read a book like that this year that got me this much engaged. That being said, there is still a lot of tropiness, a lot of Sarah J Maas things, so if you've read some of her other works,
this is very reminiscent of that. There's gonna be the very similar tropes, like the very gifted protagonist that's the chosen one that has the power that no one else has. There's sort of brooding characters. There's a lot of sexual innuendo, sexual tension. So if someone read the other books, I feel like this, they know what's gonna happen, they know the beats. And I gotta say, I enjoyed the writing much more in this series than in her other series. I thought it was a bit more mature, which was appropriate, and I thought it was well more fleshed out. There were still all of those things that really annoy me about her writing, like the overuse of God's damned, the overuse of male, the overuse of repetitions, especially towards the end of the book where she would think just Danica, 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 or like it wasn't her fault, it wasn't her fault, it wasn't her fault, and you just have this random repetition. And she did call his goods a considerable length at some point, which is just such a Sardimas thing to do. These things were tempered down, so I did not feel like they were annoying me as much as they do in her other works. When I felt they were so overused, I noticed them so much. And maybe if someone never read any of her works and doesn't already look out for it, I don't think it would bother them too much. I really liked the characters. I thought they had strong personalities, although at first a lot of them were introduced at first, so I got so confused and I did feel a little bit discouraged. When you persevere with it, you really do learn the characters, so I enjoyed them. I thought Bryce was amazing, Hunt was amazing, I thought her friends were pretty good. I'm glad that Fury came back. I love Hypexia, I love Run, all of them are great. They are still very tropey, they're very Sarah J. Maas characters. There's so many creatures and so many rules in this book that I felt a bit confused at times. I still don't understand the world fully, and I probably want for another couple books because there's so much lore and there's so much everything there. I think the tension between the characters was just impeccable. It was amazing. The sexual tension, and just I love how they actually build a friendship first and then they got to the nitty-gritty, and there was only what, like one sex scene, which is more tame than her other works, but I thought that their friendship was beautiful, and they really needed someone there for them, and they were there for each other, so I just thought that was beautiful. I felt there was less padding and filler than in her other works, so a lot of her other books are also very, very large. I felt that this one was filled with less filler. Actually, I don't know if every single of these 800 pages was justified, but at the same time I did not feel bored or disengaged for most of the story. Yes, it took me a bit to get into it, but it still was like 100 pages from 800 book. It's not like for half of it I was bored. I thought the setting of the story was so amazing and unique. It was our world, but it wasn't, and it was just flipped on its head, because what I thought it was an urban fantasy, and it kind of was, but not really. At least I don't think it was a typical urban fantasy. When you think urban fantasy, you think Shadowhunters, which the story had some similarities to, at least before I actually got into book. Now I don't think it's that similar, it's just like the urban fantasy setting, but this one is a typical urban fantasy because there's no that secret element of the real world and then the magical world and then being separated and the normal one not knowing about magical world. That's what I think when I think of urban fantasy, but this is a very different type of fantasy. It's still like very, very fantasy. This is a different world. It's just very similar to modern day Earth. I thought that was really unique. I thought it was handled well. I feel like I was a bit worried it's gonna become like a gimmick, but it was actually really cool, and it was so different than what I've been reading recently, so that was really good for me as well. I just needed a change of pace, and this was perfect for that. All in all, it was addicting and it was so enjoyable. It made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me care about characters so much, and that's all you want from the book, really. For me, this was an amazing success. I'm so glad I read it. I will 100% read the second book and hopefully make a vlog for it as well. For me, it's 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I'm docking that 0.5 for a little bit of the predictability and a little bit of the tropiness. But that being said, I don't think I enjoyed any book more than I enjoyed this one this year, and I hope you enjoyed this experience with me. I hope you stayed till this point. If you did, thank you so much. I think it's gonna be a long one, but again, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you read the book, let me know what's your favorite scene, your favorite moment, your favorite character. I want to know your favorite character. For me, it's either Bryce or Hypexia. I really like Hypexia and I feel like we didn't get much from her. Oh, by the way, if I say any of these names wrong, I'm sorry. I don't know how to say them. There was no dictionary at the beginning, so I was lost. If I'm saying them wrong, you can correct me. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!